everyone, and welcome to the Week 8 review, Week 9 preview. We are halfway through the season. I'm joined by Joel Gibson. Joel, how is the champ doing today?
Well, the champ is still the champ, but we're taking a tough loss tonight. It's a little rough over here, but we're keeping our spirits high.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I will apologize up front. I've been having some breathing issues with asthma, so if I crack up or need a second to catch my breath, I do apologize. And I apologize if I seem a little less excited tonight. I am okay, no big deal. Just had like a little scare last night where I had an asthma attack while I was sleeping. And I woke up and like my whole neck was strained, like the muscles, because I couldn't breathe. They were like having a reaction. I think it's because I'm getting old. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's because I'm getting old. But today I've kind of been resting them and I feel a lot better than I did last night, I'll say. But with that being said, let's get into the most exciting thing about tonight, and that is the champs matchup. That is Joel Gibson taking that L to CJ. CJ just giving him the dirty. Joel, what do you have to say for yourself?
Tough. It's tough. You and I were saying that this is one of CJ's best seasons. I had a couple pickups this week that did not go my way. Picking up Cody Martin immediately went out with COVID. That was a tough pickup. And then I picked up Alec Burks today, who just before waivers went through, sat out or decided to go out with for personal reasons. Pretty fucking tough. And LeBron getting the triple-double just sealed the game. Good win for CJ. I'm not upset with this team. I'm not giving up hope. Sabonis is starting to look a little bit more like himself. I'm hoping Turner gets traded and we go back to having a top 10, top 12 player there. Not to mention, my fourth best player, Jonathan Isaac, has been rebuilding that jumper and is due back sometime.
Absolutely, around the same time. Fultz will be back a little bit beforehand. So until I get that, I don't want to hear a damn thing about Isaac. But with this in mind, I do want to go back to the point that you said that this is, in my opinion, CJ's best season, only because he beat me and you in the same season. I still have one more game against him where I can try to rectify the situation, but I know for sure there has never been a season where he has beat both you and I. And like I said, it's not that we're any kind of super special or anything like that. You have the most championships, things like that. But when you beat both of us in the same season, it's something that is exciting. Like, if I were CJ, I'd be very happy this week. Him taking you down. He moves to 500. He also moves you to 500 halfway through the season. And since we're halfway through the season, this is what I'm looking for, Joel Gibson. I want to see a Joel Gibson at Kyle first round. I want Joel to be the 8. I want a underdog Joel Gibson to go at Kyle in the first round. I don't care if you're at 7 and Kyle's at 2 or whatever it has to be. What I want is Kyle to put up or shut up, because he's been talking an awful lot about how we didn't talk enough shit on him last video, and so he was worried that we weren't feeling okay. So allow me to start it right now. If Joel gets to an 8 versus 1 against Kyle, I am going to take Joel. I am going to take it right now, and we'll start talking that shit right now. I think Kyle is a house of cards. Joel, I said this to you before the video. I stand by it. Dinwiddie, not the answer. He just lost Grant. AD has not been AD, okay? And heading towards the end of the season. Heaven forbid the infamous Davis injury comes. That's all I'm going to say on it. KD's incredible. I won't speak negative on him. Fultz will be back to lock down Cole Anthony, as I have said was going to happen. So, Kyle, you want your shit talking? Here it comes, bro. Joel over Kyle, first round of the playoffs, halfway prediction.
I fucking love it. I think that is highly likely. I do think he is a little thin up top, but I do like some of his players. But I would savor an opportunity to take him out in the first round because I do think I have some unexpected depth that I can bring to the matchup.
Right, and while all that's being said, Kyle did win this week against Phil, no duh. We'll get that out of the way while we're talking about it. Kyle moves to 8-0.
Which is a pretty impressive winning streak.
8-0 absolutely is impressive. Neiman did this last year. I think Neiman got the whole way to 10-1. If I remember that correctly, and then he lost like 2 in a row or something like that, and ended up at 14-2, I think, if I remember Neiman's record last year. So Kyle moving along, 8-0, coasting along, nothing can go wrong, right?
We'll see.
We will see. Kyle moves to 8-0, Phil to 1-7, still got that one win. Trying to get out of last place. His team is playing better, though. At least it was semi-competitive against Kyle as far as the numbers go. Kyle was very injured, but the numbers were a lot closer than they appeared. And also, poor Phil, not going to have Zion this year. I'll be the first to say it. Zion's not playing a game this year. The man's over 300 pounds. If you've seen a picture of this dude, he looks ginormous. He's as big as a house. I don't know when we're going to start talking about busts for this guy, but I'm worried. That is a lot of weight to take off, dude. Even when you are healthy, holy shit.
He looks like he ate Zach Randolph.
He does. He looks twice as big as Zach Randolph. And you always gave me shit for how much I love Zach Randolph.
I know.
Anyway, congratulations, Kyle. 8 wins in a row. Fantastic. I just worry that this might be another Neiman situation where the number 1 seed doesn't necessarily give you a cakewalk to the championship. We'll say that. Moving on, we've got my matchup against Cody. Now, this was an interesting matchup on a lot of different levels. Cody was injured a lot. I was injured a lot. I was hoping that I'd have Booker, Butler, Harden sat a game. Any of those players at any point to play would have been great. Cody missed some games as well, but my biggest concern here is the Luka injury and the Luka news today that he's going to be out multiple games. I watched the last game he played and the game before that as well. Let me tell you, he does not look like Luka. He is nursing the thumb or the finger or whatever it is that he's nursing with the ankle and the knee. And he just looks big, dude. He just looks big, and I'm worried about that. Zinger looks okay, but if Luka goes down, they're going to start protecting Zinger as well. So having both of those could actually work against Cody moving forward. It's just a bummer. I hate to see like a talent like Luka struggle so much. But I can tell you, he is not the Luka he was last year. That being said, DeJounte Murray is an absolute light show for Cody, carrying him to the promised land, or at least to the record of 500, which is he currently is at. Had the triple-double this week. I just love watching that kid play. He was on my team last year. Him and Fox, I traded for Beal. I'm still not sure who won that yet. Fox hasn't necessarily been great. Neither is Beal. So it's one of those situations where it just depends on whose side you're on. Cody had 4 keepers. I only had 3 keepers. Like, we'll see. Beal's starting to come around, though. Hopefully.
He's from the best of the 3.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, unfortunately. I thought Beal might have a top 15 year this year, 12 to 15. It does not look like that's going to happen unless he just turns it on. But either way, I win. I move to 6-2. Cody moves to 4-3. I am just worried about the injuries for Cody. It's just a mess. It's a mess, and you hate to see it. Somebody set up so well, and then just everything collapsed. I feel for Cody, but I also love the fact that it doesn't matter. Every season, if you work at it, you're going to have a shot. Things are going to happen. You can't predict everything. It's extremely difficult to predict a lot of things. And this is just a prime example, and you got to feel bad for Cody. But, hey, 4-4 is not bad thus far.
And, as long as he makes the playoffs, which if he didn't make playoffs, that would be an absolute disaster. Anything could happen.
Absolutely. Next matchup, we have Neiman beating Matt. Now, when we talked about this last week, we said Neiman had to win to have any sort of shot. Neiman did win and won impressively. Now, Matt's been injured. We're going to talk about, where's Simmons and all of this garbage with Matt's team. It doesn't matter to me. Neiman's team won this week, and he kept his actual playoff hopes alive. Shout out to Neiman. That's it. That's all I can say. Curry was great this week. Matt taking a tough loss, especially because he was top 2. But then again, doesn't really hurt him because he was that high. Taking a loss doesn't mean as much for Matt as losing would have meant for Neiman.
It does bring him closer to the middle of the pack, though, and that's not far off.
Absolutely. And, I like seeing competition, so I'm excited for Neiman. And Matt, we really didn't think he was going to be that high come the end of the season. This is just a step in that direction. Will it stay? Who knows? The fact that Zion is probably not coming back makes Matt's trade for Val absolutely incredible. I would put it in the top 3 trades of the year. He gave up Cunningham and Suggs. Suggs was dropped to the wire. Cunningham is going to be good and has been good, but Val has just been dominant in what he does. So I will say that as far as Matt's team goes. Neiman moves to 2-6. Matt to 5-3. 3 losses there. Next matchup is going to be Eric taking down Adam. Adam didn't have half of his team. I'm not sure there's a lot that Adam can do right now. It's extremely unfortunate. But Eric pulls this one out, moves ahead, and actually moves up to number 9 when we get there. Eric knocking on the door of maybe some playoffs. But the interesting, we'll get to the rankings. Not a lot here, though. Adam just didn't have a lot to work with. It's tough when you lose LaMelo. I mean, from his team. It's even tough. Like, he lost not only LaMelo, but he lost Rozier. And if he lost either one and kept the other one, you'd see increased production from that other one. But losing both of them opens the door for Kelly Oubre to just bang on bitches. Just absolutely bang on bitches, Joel Gibson. I should have brought him up when we were talking about my matchup. He is banging on fools. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there, like I said. And Eric moves to 3-5. Adam moves to 2-6. The last matchup for this week is going to be Steven beating Doug. As we're taking this, there's about 5.5 minutes left in the fourth, but Steven is up 7-4. The triple double from Steven today, Greek specifically for Steven, was huge. Absolutely huge. Doug has all the Bulls, and all the Bulls have COVID. All the Bulls. Everyone has COVID. It's just tough. I don't know how to judge Doug's team because he's taken some losses to people that I don't think he should have, but he's also won games that make me think he's really good. I have no idea what to make of Doug's team.
Yeah, both him and Steven are, right there in that middle of the pack, 5-3, 4-4 record, where they're just right on top of each other. But it's tough to say without Levine, without DeRozan in there. Just tough for Doug, and Greek coming in with that TD just sealed it for Steven.
Absolutely. It's just victim of circumstance, I will say, for Doug this week. I'm not sure if they're both entirely healthy and go at each other. If this is the same result, it very well could be. But I think Doug puts up a little bit more of a fight, and given how close it was down to the wire right now, we could be having a completely different conversation if these teams meet again. And Joel Gibson, I do want to point out one last thing here. Now, because the change has happened and it's 7-4 for Steven, this likely doesn't matter as much, but I just want to point out one little thing here. Doug sat KJ today, and I guess I'm just confused. Keldon Johnson went 4 for 4 from the line. Doug needed those free throws to even have a shot. Now, would he have won? I am not sure. There's about 5 minutes left. Steven has caught points. So I think that if Doug had played KJ, that he would have won. He would have had the points. He would have had the 4 free throws. I think that Doug may have sat the win today, and I'm confused. I'm just confused on why make that call. Steven sat Pirtle, which was a great call with the free throw situation. I'm just a little confused.
I gotta think it's operator error.
Yeah, I can't really justify it in my head where it's like, oh, maybe if he's looking at it this way. Because I'm the king of sinning people. I like to think that I'm the king of sinning people, right? Where I know what I need to do and I make those moves. And even I can't rationalize it.
Well, you could test it out next week and sit a couple extra guys.
All right, I'll think about that, and I'll let you know, okay? I'm sure you won't be paying attention to what I'm doing at all next week, right?
I'll be dialed in.
Excellent. Well, I'll get right into my rankings, try to get through these. I know I've been rambling a little bit. Despite me saying that I can't talk, I'm still out here talking. So, number 12 is Phil at 1-7. He has the worst record. He's going to be there. Next is Adam at 2-6. Neiman is at 2-6 as well. Neiman, in my opinion, is on the ascension side of things, where Adam still in trouble. We don't know about LaMelo or Rozier, if they're going to be affected when they come back. We have no idea what's going on. So look out. Neiman trying to move up. Number 9, we've got Eric, who also won this week. He beat Adam, so obviously he would be higher. Eric is at that 9 spot, outside looking in, could sneak in, could knock out Cody, Joel, CJ. There's some spots there, and if we're talking about Neiman jumping back into the fray, if we're talking Eric and Neiman jumping in, who's jumping out, Joel Gibson? I have no idea.
We'll have to see.
Next is number 8. Right now I have Cody at number 8. There's a weird triangle between Joel, Cody, and CJ. They've each beat each other, essentially. So CJ beat Joel, Joel beat Cody, Cody beat CJ. So there's a weird little triangle between these three. They're all 4 at 4-4. So I kept them grouped together. I have Cody at number 8 right now. He plays Eric next week, but he does it without Luka. We don't know what's going on with injuries with him. And Eric's sneaky starting to get healthy again. Dame played tonight. It's just a very interesting situation. So I think Cody is a playoff team. I just don't know about next week, given the Luka news. Next, I have Joel at number 7. I was not going to put Joel over CJ when CJ just beat Joel this week. I couldn't do it. Joel also has a very tough opponent next week. One that has just been shredding people. And so I put him at 7 here. He and Cody. I almost put Cody over Joel, but in my opinion, Cody's more injured than Joel. So that's kind of what separated that, despite Joel beat Cody as well. So he kind of deserved to be there. Next is CJ. CJ as at the top 6. He's in top 6. He is rolling. LeBron's been great. I believe top 10 this year so far as fantasy goes. He also... What's that?
He's just got to stay on the court.
Absolutely. Westbrook's been playing better. And so CJ's been having a great year. He beat you. He beat me. There's not a lot of negativity we can throw out at CJ right now. So him at number 6. Next at number 5, we have Doug, 4-4. He's the last 4-4 team. Doug has beat Joel, Cody, Matt. I don't believe he's played CJ yet. That's coming, I'm sure. But Doug has beat a lot of the East. So when all these things go through and East starts losing to West and stuff like that, Doug has an advantage so far because he's beaten most of the East teams. Next we have Steven. Steven beat Doug. So of course Steven at 5-3. Matt is next at number 3. He moves out of that 2 spot, moves down a game. He lost. Matt beat Steven. So there was no argument for me on who's going where. Matt plays CJ next week, and Steven plays Phil. So technically, Steven probably has a better chance of winning. CJ and Matt's going to be very interesting. We'll see how it goes. Number 2, there was no way that I could talk myself out of it this week, Joel Gibson. You'll remember I tried. I tried to keep myself out of this spot, but here he is, Mr. Modest, number 2, at 6-2. He's by himself with that record, only losing to Kyle and CJ. So I will have a chance to rectify both of those losses. And I'm doing it injured as hell. I have no idea who I'm going to have week to week. I have no idea. People are taking games off. People are having random tea parties, COVID parties. I don't know what's going on, but I can assure you that I'm going to continue to win. Kyle is the number 1 at 8-0, as we've already talked about. Great start for Kyle. Not a lot else to say. I talked all my shit there earlier, so I won't add a lot. KD 51 points today, so I will give him that on top of his number 1 team. Joel, any thoughts on those rankings?
No, they make a lot of sense. I hate that you got up to the number 2 spot, but you got a good record and you had a lot of boys down.
I know, it's going to be real scary if your boy turns it healthy around playoff time. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be real scary. If Harden fucks me again, I'm going to be real sad about it. So just hang on if that happens. All right, with that being said, we move into the second half of the season. Oh, Joe, wait. I'm just looking over this list, and it looks like all the West won last week, Joel Gibson. Oh, man. I can't believe I forgot, or did I forget, Joel? No, I didn't. The West 6-0 this week against the East. Moved to 13-5 against the East. You guys drew close, and we were like, nah, brah, not this week. 6-0. If this has happened before, it had to have only been once. And let me tell you, I'm extremely excited. The West is the best this year, Joel Gibson. Take it.
Okay.
Oh, man, I was just excited, and you took all the wind out of my sails, bro.
Good job, opposing conference.
All right, and with that being said, we'll move into week 9, the second half of the season. As always, we'll start off with the champs matchup. And let me see here. Who does he play next week? Okay, Joel Gibson, 4-4 at Modest, 6-2? Oh, Joel Gibson, I didn't even know we played next week, and I'm the home team? And I also would have beaten you 8-2-1 this week had we played. Joel Gibson, let me tell you something right now, okay? I am very pissed off about the playoff game from last season, okay? I was taken advantage of, injuries all over the place, okay? And now I have the chance to move you under 500. I don't remember the last time that Joel Gibson was under 500 this late into the season. You might start out 0-1 or like 2-2 or something nuts like that, but never in the time that we've been playing can I remember a time that Joel Gibson has started out 4-5 and on the brink of playoff competition. Joel Gibson, I'm going to let you know what that feels like this year. I am going to win this matchup. I'm the home team. I don't care if you get 19 triple doubles, Joel Gibson. I am going to win this matchup.
I don't know, dude. Here's the thing: is I think if Batum were in there, who is definitely better than Butler, I might stand a pretty solid chance. But without Batum, without Isaac, you might have me this week. We'll see. But I think I'm sitting on 2 top 30 players there, just waiting to bust off the IR. You heard it here first.
Okay, Joel Gibson, then I must pose this to you. You will remember last season when we played, I was very injured and I was low because I had the same draft position you were in. And I manned up and I said, Joel Gibson's going to win this week. Are you willing here today to tell the people the truth and say that Mr. Modest is going to win?
Here's the thing: is I will say it once you've done it, sir. I'm picking myself, goddammit.
Unbelievable! Unbelievable, Joel Gibson! Oh!
Picking myself away for the upset.
Excellent. I'm excited. We'll see how it goes. Next matchup, we have Matt at CJ. This one's interesting. CJ beat both you and I, and now has the chance to go after Matt. Matt's kind of weak right now. He's had some injury issues. CJ's just been playing well as well, and he's the home team. The West teams are all the home teams this week. Just so everybody knows, we were all the away teams last week, which is just another impressive feat. Not one home team won last week. Very interesting. This week, all the West are home teams. CJ's health, it's tough, man. I was looking at it earlier, too. This is really tough. Like, if this were a playoff matchup, I would have just no idea. I don't know what's going to happen. I imagine CJ's willing and ready to cycle. Matt...
He he has no surprise injuries right now.
That's what I'm saying. CJ healthy at home with a chance at a triple-double. I think I'm favoring CJ.
Well,
Yeah, so I'm going to go with CJ. I'm going to stick with my West boy, and I'm going to go CJ at home. If Matt wins, kudos to him, but CJ is looking like he's going to be right there in the top 6, top 5 area this year and just hungry in the playoffs.
which means Matt's going to be right in the thick of it if he loses.
If this matchup were the 4-5 matchup, I would not be surprised. I will say that. If this matchup was the 4-5 this year, I would not be surprised at all. And so this matchup specifically, head-to-head, could be extremely huge for both of these teams, home versus away. That's all I'm going to say. They can take from that what they will. I'm just saying if this is the 4-5 matchup, we could be talking about who's the 4 and who's the 5 right now.
Playoff implications.
Next matchup, we have Doug at Neiman. Uh-oh. Doug has nobody playing, and Neiman has 2 top 5 players. I don't understand how this kind of timing works for Neiman, but I think Neiman wins this game at home. I don't know. Levine was just put into the protocols, so I have no idea how Doug pulls this off away. I just think that Neiman is more likely for the triple-double. Neiman would have beat Doug straight up this week. I'm truly at a loss to try to find how Doug pulls this matchup off. And if they're cycling, maybe. But that just depends if Neiman wants to cycle. I like Neiman here.
I'm going to pick Doug. I don't feel great about it, but outside of Levine, how long is Smart out right now? He's probable for Monday. Levine is the only guy he has on the injury report going into next week, not named Mason Plumlee.
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah, Ball isn't out.
it's just been a little thin. So I'm going to disagree with you. We've been agreeing too much.
We have been agreeing too much. Yeah, another must-win week for me if I'm Neiman. This is one of those situations. I think he's going to be must-win until he gets at least back to 500. Honestly. I honestly think that. He's 2-6. So the next 4 matchups, in my opinion, he's got to be thinking must-win. Doug probably cycles this week. But I'm still going to go with the home team. I don't like anybody for Doug to get the trip. So I'm going to go with the home team with Neiman. Next matchup, we've got Cody at Eric. Now, these two tend to have a little bit of a rivalry going on, and it's interesting because Eric seems to be getting healthy. Cody seems to be going in the other direction. I am fearful that Eric pulls a rabbit out of the hat this week. And that truly depends on how many games Lucas sits and if Jaylen Brown plays. Okay? Those two, literally, when they do and when they don't play, I think are going to be the linchpins of this matchup. Eric had a pretty decent line this week and murdered Adam. Now, we expected that. But Capella's playing better with Dame coming back. I think this was Dame's first game back for Eric all week. So, Eric's nothing to play with. If Luke is out, they're also more likely to sit Porzingis, especially if there's a back-to-back. Man, I want to say Cody, but I think I'm going Eric here. Luka's just too big a part of the team, and he's already lost MPJ. I know that DeJounte has been incredible. Caruso is healthy again, so he'll be able to play Caruso next week as an aside. Yeah.
I think it helps Eric that RJ Barrett is out. That's not having him play is a good thing. That's a good cycle spot for Eric.
Yeah, I have no idea, other than Eric being up 9:02, why he didn't play Lillard today, other than, like, it was probably after 3:30 when Eric saw that Lillard was going to play, so he couldn't activate him. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I just have this weird feeling that Eric is going to win this matchup.
We'll see.
Yeah, Eric has the advantage head-to-head looking at lines right now, and that's without Dame and without Brown, and with Luke only sitting once. I think Luke only sat once. He might not have sat at all. No, he sat today. Obviously, he sat today. Yeah, I'm staying with my West boys. That's it. Who you got?
I think I too am going to pick Eric. He's just a little bit healthier, and as long as Dame doesn't have to rest any games, like if he's back full-fledged, I'm picking Eric.
Yep. Next matchup is going to be Phil at Steven. Steven's rolling. Phil's getting more competitive, but I don't think he's at Steven's level yet. I'm picking Steven.
Yeah, Steven's going to steamroll him.
Yeah. Sorry, Phil. That's a bummer, bud. Last matchup here, kind of boring. Adam at Kyle. This also seems to be a rivalry matchup every year, but this year I just don't think it matters. Kyle steamrolls Adam. Adam just doesn't have a third of his team.
Yeah. It turns out when you're down a third of your team, it's tough to win.
Yeah, really tough. Well, based on my picks, Joel Gibson, now we disagreed. You took Doug, I believe, right? On the one
Yeah.
and you took
I took myself.
I was about to say you took yourself against me. If I'm right again, I'm predicting another West sweep. So, I always stick by my boys. We're going to win. We're going to shred you guys again. And then we won't have to worry about it. Because even if you guys were to sweep the last 2 weeks, we still win the West.
Well, Jalen Brunson is going for at least 2 triple-doubles this week, so you better look out.
All right, well, I'm a heavy home favorite, and I'm pissed about that playoff matchup. So let me tell you, I am going to wreck you this week. I don't care. I'll drop anybody. I don't give a fuck.
Drop anybody you want. I was so happy with CJ dropped out first today. Give me another top 50 player.
I hope he doesn't play next week at all. Although, good news for you so far, Booker and Butler are confirmed out for Monday. So, a good start, and Barton's questionable. So, get all your heavy hitters out there, Joel Gibson, and just hope for the best. Mobley is going to just... I don't even know what he has prepared for you.
Man. Well, if Sabonis can take it up just one more notch, you're in trouble.
All right, well, we look forward to it. Good luck to everybody. We went a little long, 38 minutes today. Mostly me... 38 minutes. Mostly me rambling. It didn't feel like it. I thought I was talking fast, but I guess I wasn't. Shout out to anybody who's made it this far. Also, if you've made it this far, what I've been tossing around this week is if there's a need to shuffle up the divisions. I figure I'd put this at the end to see if anybody watches this far. But I'm tossing, because at this point we're almost at 39 minutes. Like, if you're in it, you're in it, okay? I want to know what you think if we should be shifting up divisions when it comes to Dynasty. I personally am of the opinion that we probably don't have to do it. I like the current rivalries and everything like that. But if we want to clean slate and try to get some more, or at least some new rivalries, I do want it to always be an option, though, that we could switch up divisions down the road as well. That could be a way to make things a little bit more interesting because teams won't change as much. Switching up divisions would at least get you new opponents that you play twice a year, things like that. But just a thought, you know?
Yeah.
That being...
I am about divisional play.
Anything else from you, Joe Gibson?
Good luck to everyone this week. Let's get some fucking sleep.
Excellent. Good luck to. I second that. Good luck to everyone this week except Joel Gibson, because his team's big booty hole. See ya.